Good evening, dear performers, and good evening, dear viewing friends. Welcome to Virtual Poetic License. It's an open mic that features original poetry, solo acoustic music, story, and spoken word performance. My name is Donna Scheer. I am humbly standing in for Alice Kochemba, who originated this series. And balloons, yes, we have balloons because this month marks our first year anniversary of Poetic License. We also are celebrating the 100th anniversary of the passage of voting rights for women in the United States. So the balloons are purple and yellow and one white one because those were suffragettes' colors. I want to give a special thanks to Andrew Richards for guiding us through this virtual format. And thank you, FCTV, for providing us with so much vibrant programming. Every week brings updates, the local status of COVID-19. There are volunteer opportunities, online Zoom classes. There's training in filming and editing and production. And there's a monthly calendar of events. All of these wonderful things are at the website fctv.org. Won't you please consider becoming a member? Individual membership is only $30 a year. It's one of the simplest ways to support our mission and take advantage of all that membership will provide you. All right, superstars. Andrew gave us a sign up, which will give us the order you will perform. When I read your name, please unmute your mic, repeat your name. You'll have a 4-minute time slot. Andrew keeps track of the time, and we strive to share our time equitably. What happens to this performance is it gets edited, and then it's put on FCTV's channel 13 a whole bunch of times, as well as the YouTube channel. I'm going to read first, and I will close at the end of the evening. Again, my name is Donna Scheer. I'm a poet. I'm a retired kindergarten teacher, and I'm a jazz vocalist without a gig this summer because of COVID. Both of the pieces I'm going to share tonight are about mothers. The first one that I'm going to read is about the mother of a friend of mine. And COVID-19 is certainly not the first pandemic we've suffered through. This poem shares about life during an epidemic in the mid-20th century, and it's called Scarlet Fever. This is dedicated to Kathy Engeman Hall. Warning: yellow banners unfurl street side. A sign shouting from the window, quarantine. No front door visiting allowed, not milkman, mailman, school friends, or family. Only you and mother echoing in an empty house. But every week, parked curbside, your siblings wave wildly from the car's open windows. Your father delivers a box of groceries to the stoop. Tucked between ginger ale and chicken noodle soup, the latest Highlights magazine, a welcome comestible for your 6-year-old mind, hungrier than your body. Time, the steady drip, drip of life, delivers a surprising deluge in quiet pursuits. Despite your sensitive eyes, mother teaches you to see, really see, to paint the line and contour of objects, perspective tricking the eye into 3-dimensional belief. Never bored, you bloom into an artist, prepared by the good, the bad, and the solitary. You and your paintbrush will always be best, first chosen company. And as Mother says, look where the sun shines in your painting, and you will understand where shadows must fall. All right. So, Lynn Vitti, you are first up tonight. Welcome, welcome. Is this your first time, or have you been at the live show?
I have not been at the live show.
Okay, well, welcome. We'll give you a great round of applause because you were brave enough to come and do this.
Well, I was going to read some COVID poems, but I've decided I'll just shift to some other poems. So here we go. You inspired me to take a turn here. This poem is called My Mother on My Cousin's Wedding Day. Children weren't invited. That wasn't fair. I was 13, had never seen a wedding except on television. She opened a flat box of stockings, pulled them on gently, fastened them to her girdle. I watched her pull the beige lace dress over her head, shake it down her slender frame, gently push her arms through the sleeves. I zipped the dress closed. I climbed onto her bed, mesmerized by the lace sheath. Paid full price too, she said. Coral high-heeled pumps, matching handbag, sparkling costume jewelry. She leaned toward the mirror to put on her lipstick, coral, like the shoes. From a department store box, she withdrew an ivory hat, broad-brimmed in front, covered with perfectly matching ivory tulle. My father waited downstairs in his favorite chair, trying not to sweat in the August heat. I followed them out the front door, sat on the porch steps, the concrete hot on my thighs. The green and white fins of our Chevy disappeared down our street of identical brick houses. She was 45. I knew she'd be the prettiest, best-dressed lady there. She wore the lace dress over and over and the coral shoes. But the hat stayed in the back of the closet for years, till one day the square box went to the Goodwill because nobody wore hats anymore.
Thank you, Lynn. Oh my gosh. Mothers inspire us one way or the other, don't they?
Do I have room for another one?
Yes, yes.
This one is called The Color of Her Volkswagen. Atlas blue, first bug I ever saw. It showed up one day, a shiny little thing, in Miss K's driveway 2 doors down, their old Dodge long gone. People on our street drove Chevys or Fords. Nobody even knew how to say Volkswagen. We're skeptical about a foreign car, but Miss K packed up picnic basket, playpen, her kids, suntan oil, squeezed us all into the bug. I watched her shift the gears, her pedicured feet depressing the gas pedal, working the clutch like an extension of her body. She tuned the radio to WFBR. The 4 lads sang, standing on the corner, watching all the girls. When we got to the swimming place, an old quarry, now flooded with water, now a club where you bought a daily membership, the loudspeaker blasted my kind of music. There Goes My Baby, repeated every hour. We ate peanut butter sandwiches. Miss K plunged into the water from a dock. She wore a green bikini, adjusted the top over her breasts when she surfaced. I rubbed her suntan oil on my arms and legs. Around us, older girls mixed iodine and baby oil, greased up their arms and legs and shoulders, lit Newports and blew smoke rings. I longed to be like them. Homeward, the VW rolled up and down country roads, back to the city, steaming streets, dried little lawns. I got one shorty and then I'll stop. And I've used up my 3 minutes. I'll sneak this in. This is called Actor. This was a response to a prompt which said, write a one-sentence poem. Actor. When we met on the steps outside Levering Hall in winter, he told me his favorite song was Greensleeves, his cigarette Marlboro, the writer he adored most, James Joyce, and did I want to see him in Le Balcon next weekend because he had the role of chief of police. And afterwards we could go to the cast party at Fred and Charlie's, but I was 17, still in high school. My parents would never have gone for it. So I declined, but not before I accepted a cigarette and a light saying, maybe next summer when I turn 18.
Great sentence. Yay. Thank you so much, Lynn. All right, another newbie, an old friend of mine, but a newbie here to virtual poetic license, Candy Johansen.
Hi, I'm Candy Johansen. I know Donna through Moms on Broadway. I've been writing, generally I write children's young adult novels, so this is a little bit of a departure, and it's not about mothers, sorry. Okay, and I have two. The title of this is Memories. Is it just a dream? This life we tread upon the earth, leaving behind bits and pieces of what might have been, what could have been, what should have been, trailing behind us in the wispy fog of our memories. We look back and mourn the memories never made, unspoken promises that disappear into the misty fog, lost forever to time gone by. Still, the days stretch out before us with the promise of one more chance, one more opportunity, one more reason to hope that our slow plodding through life can bring some passion, bring some fire, bring some joy, bring some meaning. And the pain that we leave behind in the fog behind us becomes softer, less. And we say, I wish I could turn back time and hold tight to the memory that never happened, that never was, and make it real. But it has already dissipated into the fog, and all that is left behind is the whispered hope of tomorrow. That was my first one. Now my next one, these are dark times, so it's kind of dark. It's called The Watcher. She rises through the pain, gasping as though swimming up from deep, dark, and murky depths. She shrieks as the pain envelops her, once again threatening to drag her back down into the arms of insanity. The others run away, leaving her screams, leaving her agony, leaving her fear, leaving her behind. Only he remains. He stands watching, slack-faced, unmoved, watching the struggle, watching the panic, watching the horror. Finally, she slowly slides down into the pain, her eyes as blank as his face. A smile plays at the corners of his mouth as he turns and slowly follows the others. That night, parents rush into bedrooms, soothing fears, wiping tears as children tremble in their arms. But they can't talk. They can't speak of the horrors that they have seen, of the terror they felt, or of the one who stayed behind and watched. That's it.
Thank you. Thanks, Candy. I'm so glad you made your way to us.
I am too. I love it. My kind of people.
Does anybody give me a thumbs up if you find yourself remembering things from the past more during this time of pandemic? I can't stop thinking about things that have happened in the past. Good fodder, but maybe it's just because we have more time to think about these things. Let's see. Sue Carlson with that gorgeous green dress and that gorgeous green background. It looks super with your hair.
Well, thank you. I was thinking this hat, I had it sitting in a closet. You talk about being home. And when you're home, you can dig through your closets and find all these things that you just didn't realize were tucked away. So I found this, and it reminded me of actually the time of the suffragettes. I felt like one wearing this hat. So kind of cool that that's the anniversary. I didn't realize. This is a big occasion tonight. And on that note, I have 2 poems on the subject of big. Can you hear that? This poem is called Big. These days, the little things are big. A smile on the little face of a child is big enough to reach ear to ear, to ear to ear. A small sip of tea allows us to drink in the grand offering of reflected sun. One kind word is big enough to derail an entire lifetime of unkind ones. One affirming little emoji is enough to empower an infinite internet of trolls, to overpower, pardon me. One small comet traveling through the infinite beyond is big enough to be seen all around the Earth. One small planet is big enough to hold all of us to its surface as it soars through the universe, balanced in all space. One little bird fills all our hearts with song as it gently lands upon our hand to let us know that we are all connected. These days, the little things are big. Do a little something today and notice the little things that fill your soul. This one is called Ever-Present Fluke. She was at home in her floating vessel upon the water and delighted diving deep beneath the sea. Was it just a fluke that I was watching while the whale held her in his giant embrace and would not let her swim free? She was afraid. She didn't understand why he was doing this to her. Would she die? Fear isn't a funny thing, or is it? The shark had been close behind, and she had encountered her enormous fear embodied in the peaceful, loving whale who had transported her safely home. So what sparked that poem was watching a World Channel documentary, PBS's The Whale Detective. And this is a true story that a woman tells of being carried to safety, the safety of her boat, in the arm or fluke of a whale, all the while thinking the whale was going to be her demise and never having seen the shark till she got near the boat. And it really wasn't a fluke in the other sense, because she says she's since found out this is a common occurrence for whales to carry people to safety like that. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that is beautiful. Gives me a lot of hope there. Thank you so much, Sue. John Jackson.
Unmute. And okay, so I've done this many times actually. I was not with you back in August of 2019, but I was there in September. My current muse, as most of you know, is Limericks of Protest, which is my blog and website of political limericks. And it's been an odd time for political limericks. Last night, I was very, very unhappy and couldn't figure something out, and just could not figure something out. And eventually I called my beloved wife, who is in Falmouth while I am up working in Groton, Massachusetts, and said, "That's it, I'm going to bed. I can't deal with this anymore." And I was tired and all that wonderful stuff. So there I am, about to go to bed, brushing my teeth, when everything all falls together and gels, as poems often do. I had to run back downstairs and write this way past my bedtime. Cops shooting blacks is a cancer. Thought and prayer isn't an answer. Behind Wisconsin locks, Rittenhouse walks. Does Justin Blake walk? Well, he can't, sir. And on a somewhat lighter note, from the Senate to the highest exec, we fight to keep fascists in check. We would be reckless to encourage the feckless. Resistance means giving a feck. And where do I spend most of my time wasting my conversational skills? Well, of course, on the old book of face. Source of news, rumors, jokes, and malarkey. Where is Facebook in my hierarchy? Like the poetry of Alice, subtle wordplay of malice, or at the very least, hunting the snarky. Now, on a different note, yesterday I was involved in a Zoom talent show at UU Falmouth, and I was told this is multi-generational, so I pulled out this little gem from 1999 when my precocious 10-year-old knew everything, and he thought he was a herpetologist, and he would say, Dad, do you know what snakes eat? They eat mice, and they eat fish if they can get them, and they eat bugs. No, son, snakes eat toast. Dad, they don't. They eat grasshoppers, and they eat mice, and they eat things like that. No, son, snakes eat toast. So, there we go, properly attired. Snakes eat toast. It's the food they love the most. It's true from coast to coast that snakes eat toast and snakes eat bread. I have often heard it said that a snake is not well fed unless it has bread, but snakes hate donuts because they fall right through the little hole. Snakes hate donuts. They prefer a muffin or a coffee roll. Snakes eat chips with salsa or with dips. It's why they lick their lips, because snakes eat chips, and snakes eat cake with a joy that's hard to fake. So remember, goodness sake, that snakes eat cake. But snakes hate crackers, 'cause they get the crumbs all in the bed. Snakes hate crackers. They'd prefer a piece of pumpkin pie instead. Snakes eat rice. They think it's very nice. They will thank you once or twice for a bit of rice. And snakes eat cheese. They'll get down on their knees and ask you kindly please for a bit of cheese. But snakes hate pretzels. Ties their stomachs up into a knot. Snakes hate pretzels, but they'll take a taste of whatever else you got. Snakes like beer, at least that's what I hear. It brings a snake great cheer to have some beer. And snakes like toast, it's the food they love the most. So be the perfect host and feed snakes toast. The end.
Yay! Always make me laugh. Always, every single time.
Just doing my job, Donna.
Thank you. You know what? And you're well paid for it too.
Worth every penny.
Worth every penny. Thank you so much. We all need to laugh.
Mm-hmm.
But your somber one in the beginning, that also was a beautiful limerick on a very difficult subject.
I sent that this last night, and this morning I awoke, read my email, and my wife, who is my editor and chief critic, said for once I had made her cry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you find ways to share that with other people too.
Mm-hmm. Well, remember, limericksofprotest.com. Tell your friends and neighbors.
Thank you. All right, let's see who's up next. Joyce Wilson. Don't forget to unmute, my friend.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yay.
Yes. Good to see you all again, and thank you for having this forum. I've been trying to write more funny poems. So this is from life, and you can laugh or not, but it's slant praise on his third birthday. He says he'll wear his new protective facial mask so long as he won't have to wear his pants. That's it. So, and this is our favorite resort during the pandemic. The tourists are coming just like before. The townies are headed for cover. They long for the winter as much as before to be with their favorite lover. While fishing is better than ever before, the sharks are infesting the water. With restaurants open much less than before, already the days seem much shorter. The clothing is not as well made as before. The art's not as good as it's been. The trinkets much cheaper than those from before. My lover's returning to Lynn. Sorry about my phone. I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get it. Okay. And this one is animal husbandry. Oh, let me not to the union of two dogs deny the need for luck. Not always will the female join one of a pair of logs swept over passion's falls for good or ill. Oh no, the act requires both time and chance to crown the purpose of the eager donor, who needs encouragement to make romance, not suit the schedule of the anxious owner. The female knows when she is ready for insemination by the nearest male. She'll give the sign that one must not ignore by holding up the feather of her tail. They stand, he enters her, they do not lie. In breeder's lingo, they will form a tie.
Very informative.
Yes, that's my experience when I tried to breed my collie. But and that one actually was accepted for publication, and you might want to try it by a website in the UK and England called Lighten Up Online. So if you Google it, I recommend it. So.
Thanks, Joyce.
Yep.
Thanks for your shares. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Let's see. Christina is not in attendance. So JoAnn Nadeau, you are next.
Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be here. It's been a few months since I've been able to be on, so glad to be back. I am JoAnn Nadeau, and I live in Mashpee. Since George Floyd died, I have found that my writing has turned to many of the stories that we're hearing in the news. And I was going to read one tonight about 1960 and an incident that happened, but I am grateful for the reminder about the 100th anniversary for women. And so I've decided to read this poem that I wrote called When Angels Weep. And it starts with a quote that I'll read first by James Baldwin. To look around the United States today is enough to make prophets and angels weep. James Baldwin. A mother cries for her child. Angels are crying too. Tears fall down from heaven, washing the dark stain of injustice from the streets of one more American town. Black mothers gather, a call goes out, an SOS calling for troop support in a war without a name. A wave of women arrive. They surround one of their own, while angel wings carry a child home. Black mothers sit, hands clasped together, prayers spoken in hushed tones, Sounds of spirituals sing out well-loved words, words that surround them, that lift them on those angel wings to say goodbye. Another child is gone. Prophets write words of warning. Prophets speak of blood in the streets. Prophets cry when sons and daughters die too young, not in battle, not in war, simply for the color of their skin. Mothers rise across our country, ready to go when the call rings out. The death knell rings again. Angels take flight. Prophets gaze at the mountaintop, watching for a sign that peace is on the way. I just want to finish by saying that I heard about a movement that's called the Mothers of the Movement. And it is this group of over 400 women who have lost a child by some tragedy. And they gather to support when they hear about another son or daughter that dies. So I was so moved by hearing about that and just felt that I wanted to write something. So thank you.
That was gorgeous. Thank you so much, JoAnn. Lot of people can't stay silent anymore. A lot of people are putting words and pen to paper because so much needs to be talked about. That was quite beautiful. Thank you. I love the Baldwin quote too.
Yes, thank you.
Let's see, Jackie Finney. Are you going to be serious tonight?
Oops.
No, can't hear you yet.
Hello.
Okay, now we can hear you.
Hello. It's a funny thing. I'm not going to be serious tonight, and I kind of feel awful about it because I never present myself as serious. But we all have different facets, and they have a seriousness. But no, not tonight. I mean, there's humor can be very serious, and in its own way. So I think it's a natural inclination. So this is a couple of things that I'd like. Well, I'm trying to decide. I had decided, but I'm not going to. Anyway, I have a friend whom I play Scrabble with. Millie White and I play Scrabble with her, actually. So I wrote her a birthday poem. And she's a lovely, lovely lady. We dabble. Happy birthday, Barbara. Although I know you poo-poo any accolade that comes your way regarding your prodigious plays at Scrabble, your erstwhile opponents still wish to acknowledge and do believe that in this game you do so supremely dabble. Having said the obvious in no uncertain terms, we only wish from your example to observe and from you to learn. To barb or not to barb? That is a question. Or to barb a barb? Or to use barbed wit while recognizing Barb's wit? Yes, any wordplay with you provides such fun. And after all, when said and done, and yes, once again you have won, we welcome yet another run. In a spirit of spinning spun, we'd like to disarm you with this pun. To confuse, then amuse. Dual play of sorts at hand begun. Duality and duality. To you we brandish our word towards, on guard, oh the mighty Damascene sword. The meaning of to barb or a barb, noun or verb, implication being somewhat deadly, pointed and sharp, Not unlike your game strategies. This foil would be our effort to disarm and alarm you. Ah, but c'est la vie. Our victories are not meant to be. Perhaps after all, it is better to have played and lost than not to have played at all. Signed Athos or Athos, Porthos, and Aramis. I guess those are the names of the three musketeers. So the other one is, it's to a bartender I work with on his 100th minus 20th birthday. Funny man. A hearty do-si-do and alaman left of cheer are sent your way this day. Dances of whirling wishes from your frenzied devotees, candles all ablaze, a hearty toast been raised. In a word, a festiva, atmospheria, a funicula. Laughs resound from memories counted, a charcuterie of stories shouted, capicola, mortadella, formaggio ingrediente, a veritable antipasto dressed and laid a la Talino. Knocky, knocky, who's there? The question, though, remains to be ascertained just what kind of pasta form would a Talino take? And just what gravy to make, the gravy predicated on the pasta used. Elbow, tubular, or ribbon cut, rigided, crimped, or smooth, rolled or stuffed, or just as is. Dolce vita, that's the clue. Qualsiasi, solo al dente to be cooked. Ecco, Franco, you are never overlooked. Shoot, there goes my phone. I don't know how to say that in Italian. Noi diamo respito a voi, il nostro bisbetico voi. Happy birthday, salute to the Bologna, that is you, and my sister sends a spandex smile. He followed my sister on her bike with black and yellow spandex pants. If you can imagine me in them, imagine her in them, one day in a car, and he's never forgotten it. Oh, there we go. Do I have time for one quick one?
I think so.
Thank you. This is in response to a wonderful thing that Millie White did a while back about looking up and seeing geese in flight. So I had given her some socks that said, those who wander are not necessarily lost. So she liked them. Wandering but not lost, read your socks. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Qu'est-ce que c'est? Qu'est-ce que c'est? Où allez-vous? D'où venez-vous? Les oiseaux volants en chevrons. L'Est, l'Ouest, la Nord, la Sud. Tu étends le prier de leur rencontre. Mais peut-être c'est un refrain de japonaise, comme pourrait un haku. Hanku, hanku, la poétrie de la ciel. Puis tu cries, Ishirohan Onoru, my bad Japanese. Un signe dans le ciel. Et voilà, tu vois un guimauve, which is question mark in Japanese. So. There she, yeah. Asso, Japonaise or Canadian Française. See the geese in chevron flight, flapping, and I wish that was music, flapping and racing before the snow. They've got the urge for going. They've got the wings to go. Joni Mitchell. The end. Sorry for the interruption.
If that's not a comedy of errors, I mean, that would make a good pilot for a show, what just happened.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thank you. I thank you for letting me, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you all. I just enjoy you so much. I can't begin to tell you.
And we love your work too, Jackie. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Patricia Austin.
Hi. Can you hear
Hello.
me? Yeah.
Yep, we can hear you.
All right. Well, in the spirit of things are not as they appear to be, I have 4 short poems. The eye of a fly. What's seen by the multiple eye of a fly? Do we know how? Do we know why? What's the reason for the legion fly eye? Is it to see all dimensions that go angling by? Could that mean the fly is the most privileged of creatures, able to see all with no need of teachers, suddenly appearing from seemingly nowhere, sighting reality through midair, transpare, inside and outside and up, down, around? The fly seems delighted by wherever it grounds, from the light in the kitchen to the skin of your forearm. It delicately maneuvers with whimsical charm. Does the fly's joyful flitting from hand to the salad render belief in its evil utterly invalid?
Uh-oh.
All right, now I'm back. Does the fly's joyful flitting from hand to the salad render belief in its evil utterly invalid? Since that's what we do. We demonize the tiny to blame their demise on endeavor to stymie. That was a piecemeal poem, obviously. Just like the eye of a fly. Okay. There, but to the grace of God, and the pull of the moon, and the wish of the earth, go we. I'm sorry about that. This is really a pain in the neck. All through this wonderful event, I've stayed here and heard you all, and now it's time for me to keep going in and out. So I'm so sorry about that. So here we go again, very quickly. There but the grace of God, and the pull of the moon, and the wish of the earth, go we. There but to the spirit of God mixed with the mud, and the movement of spheres, we stand. For should the moon say, sorry, mother, I'm leaving, taking with it the joyous power of attraction, leaving behind the desolation of depression on the mother, the ancient future knots that find her might scrape DNA from the crevices of her withered, wizened face, claiming there may have been life here once, but it's hard to definitively say. If any life is less than life, then there is no life. If any one is less than all, then there is no one. If God is less by any name, then there is no God. And I think I will count my blessings here.
Thank you, Patricia. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, you know what? I have to say that I feel very proud to be here with you guys. A lot of talent and the courage to share what you're doing. It's not a whole lot of other places I can go to share stuff. This is, I'll close with a recent poem about a mother memory from my childhood. I read this at a 12-step meeting because I felt like it gave the friends in that meeting an inkling into what I'm all about. So I'm sharing it with you tonight. It's called Chicago 1956. Mother sprawls on the floor, flings dirty laundry from the hamper into our small apartment. I peer around the corner at her face, a rictus, fear fetid as a swamp. Somewhere, somehow, her wedding ring has slipped from her finger. Now she's lost. In hard-time Navy days, Father would not propose until he could bend with ring in hand. Mother borrowed money, a loan filtered through his best friend, for the ring, the very same ring now gone missing. She strikes me as the powerful one, fierce, quick as a snapping turtle, with biting beak and thwack of hand, yet rarely gets what she demands. Father is the god we must appease, with one foot on the floor, the other out the door. Awakened to rage, he tosses furniture as easily as he tosses back a beefeater's. They take turns, losing self-control. Through the years, countless times, I imagine magic. See, Mommy? I found it. Whatever it is you want, I found it. I want to thank you all for your participation in this virtual poetic license. Like Andrew said before, we'd love your feedback. You can email Andrew at andrew@fctv.org. We want to know what you think, what you'd like, if there's anything you'd like to see changed. The next poetic license will be on Thursday, September 24th. Same time, same place. Probably no balloons next time, but that's
Aww.
Oh,
Thank you again, Andrew. Bravo, all performers. We're ever so grateful you joined us. And please
thank you.
be well, friends.
Mm,
Hooray for
Thank
everyone.
you.
And happy anniversary. Happy anniversary.